The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Good evening and welcome to my State of Mind. I am Dan Yorke. You're originally seeing this broadcast on a Friday evening. You may see it a couple more times because I'll tell you, this evening's interview is, well, it speaks for itself. No famous personality, just a local business owner who has a lot on her chest. The COVID season brings a lot of stress. She has it. And she's short on dough. She's short on patience. She's short on customers. She's short on, I don't know, faith in government right now, it seems. But let her speak for herself. And with no further ado. And so we have yet another business owner in Rhode Island. You know, if we committed to a business owner every show, every day, we'd be doing this for the next decade. That's how profound the small business community is here in Rhode Island. And another one of the players is Nancy Beye. We learned of Nancy because she has, been advocating, and she's a petition signer. The petition that I guess brought you a $50 million, less than half a loaf response by Governor Raimondo, but we'll let Nancy characterize it herself. She's the owner of the Jamestown Early Learning Center, president of the Business Owners and Child Care Association of Jamestown. She is a first-term Jamestown town councilor and clearly a glutton for punishment. Correct, Nancy?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. And a busy person. You're also a volunteer on the EMT, so you are not a wallflower in your community for sure.
No. I'm also on the Women's Club, and I'm on the Senior Citizens Committee as well. So
well, there you go. Good. Do you have any days off? No. Well, keeping busy is a good thing. All right, listen. Look, you're obviously a community player and an advocate. Before I get into the details of the business stimulus and all of that, I always kind of check in to see how people are doing. Tell me about your business a little bit first.
Okay, I would love to, because that's what I feel most comfortable about talking. We've been in business 25 years. I started, and this is obviously the COVID is new to everybody. The virus, we've never had to deal with anything like this before. I thought we were pretty much had seen everything. We haven't. So for my business, we were closed for 3 months. We take infants right through preschool, pre-K, until they graduate. So we had to shut down completely. So unlike some other stores, which were able to open a little bit, we weren't open at all. From being on the town council, I saw where our town, the community, was helping small businesses by, let's say we gave them a municipal parking lot for the restaurants to have outdoor seating, but there was really nothing they could do for me other than give me, support as far as letting me know about different programs and that kind of thing. But so anyway, we were closed for 3 months. We've been open since June 15th. I have to tell you that I'm losing money each week that I'm open because the children didn't come back. I closed with 24 employees. I opened with 8, and that included myself, who I haven't been doing direct care for many years, and my director, who should be in the office doing what she normally does. But my staff were afraid to come back. So here we are. I'm working 50-hour weeks. Would have been more, but we had to reduce our business hours from instead of 7 in the morning to 6 at night. Now we're open 8 to 5 because I couldn't get enough staff to come in and work for the entire day. Normally I would have 2 shifts, and we couldn't do that any longer. And so we're stressed, and we're physically and mentally exhausted. We had our first episode of possible case the other day. A child went home sick, and we followed all of our protocols. The Department of Human Services sent us a playbook, right? I guess we're the only state that has something like that. And in order, this 39-page document tells us what to do in the case of a possible coronavirus case. So we followed all that to the max. And the problem is, Dan, I'm trying to stay positive here, but the problem is we followed the playbook to the T, but when we call the health department, which is number 1, we got a recording. and that was frustrating, and that was scary, and that went on all afternoon until 4:30 when the hotline for Department of Health closes. And my message is, this crisis isn't a 8 to 4:30 type of crisis. This is a 24-hour-a-day crisis. So for all evening, I was left out there. I didn't know what to do. And we tried for a day and a half to call Department of Health, and also the Department of Human Services, and the same thing, we got recordings. So I called Lieutenant Governor's office yesterday, and he tried to reach Department of Health, and he got a recording, or his assistant did. So my message is, we were out there dangling, and it's really scary. It's really scary. And then I want people to understand that this is a human service business, and it's not retail. We have little lives here that are at stake, and I think we need some more support from that end, and also from the money. I know that the governor has set aside some money for childcare. It's called the Child Care Provider Relief Fund, and she set aside $5 million for providers. There are 900, and I thank her for that, and it will help some. We don't know all the criteria yet for getting these grants because it hasn't come out yet. We can't apply for them until July 31st. But I will tell you, there are 900 licensed providers that are going to be vying for this $5 million. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know if we'll qualify yet, but I do know people that won't. You have to, first of all, you have one of the qualifications is you have to have children that are funded by DHS in your program. I do, but not everybody does. You have to participate in the Bright Stars rating system in Rhode Island. I do, but not everyone does. So I'm not sure how fair and equitable this money, this fund is going to be.
Okay. I will tell you, you almost set a world record for the easiest interview I've done in a long time, because, and I say that with complete respect and empathy, because there's a lot on your chest and in your mind right now. I can feel, well, you tell me what the word is. I can feel.
I feel very vulnerable. But I'm exhausted. I'm physically, like I said, I'm physically and mentally exhausted. I'm 63 years old. I go home to my husband who's 73. It's scary. And I'm afraid to be here. I actually did cry yesterday because one of the parents told us that her child has lice. Got it from an older sibling. We don't have anything, it's like one of those things that it's not a big deal normally. We're used to dealing with these issues, but it's like, how much more can you take? I'm losing money. I opened because people were desperate. They needed to get back to work. So I opened. The only people that came back were my core staff, my director, my head teachers, the people that cost the most money to employ. And I only had 1/3 of my students come back. So it's not paying for my staff. So I'm hit financially, mentally, physically. I guess it's a perfect storm, as I've told people. It's a perfect storm.
All right, boy, you've laid it out. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to break some of this stuff down with Nancy Beye, owner of Jamestown Early Learning Center. Clearly, she's in one of those places. You know what I'm saying? We'll be right back on Dan Yorke's State of Mind. Back to my state of mind. Dan Yorke here. You're watching this program originally on Friday evening, recorded yesterday afternoon with Nancy Beye, who is a first-term Jamestown Town Councilor. She is also a member of and president of the Business Owners and Child Care Association. She's the owner of a business called Jamestown Early Learning Center. And prior to March, things were moving along just smoothly, right? Your business was burgeoning. You were taking care of little ones. You had 20 some odd people on staff, and all heck breaks loose. Nancy just explained some of the stresses that she has, and I find it interesting that you're a for-profit. Is it a for-profit business? I'm
Yes.
assuming.
Yes.
your for-profit business ends up becoming, I don't even know what the category would be, but as you lose money coming back into business because the kind of work you do is so necessary, that you become well, you certainly don't turn into a nonprofit. You just become a business smashed by COVID, needing to be open, needing some financial help.
Correct.
You signed the petition.
I did.
Some 4,000 businesses did as well. That was sponsored by the Rhode Island Small Business.org website, and that group that is forming, and they are forming their own nonprofit. They spawned off the lieutenant governor's early conference calls and Facebook meetings. The governor herself has been transparent on an argument that the hundreds of millions of dollars contained in the $1.25 billion stimulus money from the feds, she's trying to park for plugging budget holes, counter to the language in that spending bill. She finally responds to that petition without recognizing it, but with her own $50 million small business grant, and as you mentioned, some ancillary grants inside that spectrum. Do you agree with me that this thing feels and is practically miserably short of the mark that businesses in this state need right now?
I do. And personally, I'm very short. I'm 4'9". But anyway, no, I do feel that way, Dan. And I'm in a better place than a lot of people. So if you think my story is desperate, then you should. You know, I've heard I know of some colleagues that have closed that didn't have the expertise I have, I guess, of being in business for so long. But they need money now. I mean, I was a recipient of the PPP money, the second round, but I held on to it. I couldn't spend it. We weren't open. I would have had to take my staff and I would have had to bring them off unemployment and pay them less and it just didn't seem right to me. So I held on to the money. And again, I have to keep going back to Lieutenant Governor's show because I listened to Mark Hayward from SBA. I listened to Matt Weldon from the Department of Business, DLT.
Yeah.
And through those two gentlemen, they kept me going, you know, and I held on to the money until we opened, and now I'm using it. And that's the only reason that I am not out of business, because obviously I would have been. Matt Weldon also helped myself and a lot of my employees who are having difficulty in collecting unemployment while we were closed. So I listened to the governor, and I deferred my mortgage payments at home. And that was the worst mistake I made, because I was also in the process of refinancing my house for the past year to get a lower interest rate on my mortgage and save myself a lot of money each month. But what the governor didn't say was, if you did that, you ruined your chances of refinancing your house. So that's where I was in the home front.
You know what? That one went by me. Explain that again.
Okay, so the governor one day at her press briefing said that that the state had made an agreement with a lot of banking institutions, and that if you wanted to, the last thing you needed to do was worry about money during these stressful times. So you could just contact your bank and say, hey, can I defer my payments? And so I did that. And not that I needed, you know, I mean, I could have probably paid them, but I didn't know what was going to happen from day to day at work. And this is where my income is from. So I thought that was a good idea. What I didn't know was that it ruined my chances of refinancing my house.
Because it affects your credit?
If you defer your payments, yes. I automatically killed the possibility of getting my my house refinanced. But so when I listened to Dan Yorke, when I listened to Dan McKee, I got really good information. I listened to the governor, and I shouldn't maybe have done what she advised. But anyway.
All right. Well, that's something that we're going to have to look into. I don't understand that, because the deferments where reportedly didn't affect your credit. So I don't know.
Correct. I have excellent credit. So it didn't, yes, but it had nothing to do with that, but it did. And I've talked to a couple of different mortgage bankers since then. My mistake was not talking to them before, so I should have.
Hmm.
But
Well,
anyway.
that's a bit of consumer information that people ought to be aware of, because I'm sure there are some folks still in the middle of, deferment decisions as we speak.
Right.
All right, why don't we do this? That was interesting. Look, this is a different kind of interview, folks. I mean, we are, Nancy's got a lot on her chest, and you know what? I think it's just, I think it's important for us to hear just the everyday real stuff that's happening in the middle of this this COVID season. I can call it the COVID crisis, but it's a season of crisis, one after the other, for a lot of folks who are trying to keep it together. What happens next, and what kind of advocacy does Nancy and people like her want from this government leadership? And we'll talk about that in our last segment when we come back on Dan Yorke's State of Mind. Please stay with us. Back to my state of mind. This original show is on Friday evening. You'll maybe see this conversation again, because this conversation has more to do with common ground than banging the drum. Nancy Beye is the owner of Jamestown Early Learning Center. She's also a first-term counselor in Jamestown, and advocates for and is the president of the Business Owners and Child Care Association. Look, I think the ask of $125 million was legit on part of the Rhode Island Small Business Organization. I think it ought to have been in increments of around 15 grand to as many businesses, without loopholes and without restrictions and without specifications. You know where you need the money. You know who you need to bring back or what you need to buy. You know what material you need. So being restricted is just all part of the ego play that Commerce does. The Commerce Secretary and his people need to validate their existence so they can monitor who you are. It's crazy. The Lieutenant Governor has also suggested $1 billion worth of loans to come into the state via guaranteed state and SBA guarantees. I think that's a terrific idea. He and I are going to explore more of that over the next week or two. I only have a few minutes, Nancy. Your heartfelt discussion, I think, is palpably felt by everybody who's watching this. In your own diplomatic way, tell me, or maybe not diplomatic, in your own way, tell me what you need specifically, what businesses like you need specifically, and what specific leadership you want from this governor. I've got a couple minutes. Go.
Okay, so obviously we could all use help financially. This virus has made us, in my industry, I have to have duplicate everything. I had to, it takes more people just to do what you would normally do before with less. And so I need more money. I need to buy things that are required in this business. And I also need help getting it. And my first concern was, when we first opened, they talked about PPE. And I was on the phone today with other colleagues, and we're all having trouble getting certain things that we need. So I know in the beginning, they gave us 50 masks, but I mean, the reality of it is, to keep these children safe, we need gloves. We can't get them. We need just the cleaning supplies alone that we can't get. So that type of thing. So we need support that way. And you know what? We need help with regulations. We're one of the, this state is so heavily overregulated for small business. I have a chart here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm going to hold it up. These are all the different agencies in order to open up a child care center that you have to answer to. And it's so hard anyway in the best of times. So we just need a little bit of help that way too, a little bit more support, but definitely money. We're operating on very thin margin anyway, and now it's even worse. I don't know how they expect us to afford it.
So let me ask you this. I only have a minute here. Does an unrestricted $15,000 grant help you?
15,000, it would help, and yes, of course it would. Of course it would.
Does it save you?
In the short term,
Who knows, right? We don't know. We don't know where
we don't know what's going to happen. That's why I feel so fragile. I feel so vulnerable because I don't know what's going to happen day to day. I just don't. And what happens if we get closed down for even 2 weeks? If we have a suspected case and we have to close down, do I pay my employees? Do I still charge my families that aren't coming? And if I don't, if I don't charge them, how do I afford to pay rent and utilities and insurance? I don't know. So, and I just have to say that, right, I didn't know how long this was going to go on. So the first 3 weeks we were closed, I paid my staff out of my bank account. And so I don't know if I'll ever recoup that. But I mean, I could just go on and on. And you know that by now.
I know that, but
So.
listen, let's stay in touch. You know,
Okay.
my mission on this show is always to solve something and say, okay, and we solved that, and that's the end of the show, and stay tuned to tomorrow's episode. I don't know what to say other than
I know.
let your stuff be heard, and let us.
Thank you. That's all I can ask.
Yeah, and let's keep in touch.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I just wish you the best of luck. Nancy Beye, owner of
Thank
Jamestown Learning Center. Quite the story. Final word when we come back on Dan Yorke's Data. Please stay with us. I just think that the conversation with Nancy Beye of Jamestown is one of hundreds, if not thousands, of similar stress level. So when the governor says she's doing all that she can while parking money in the bank for budget holes, I'll tell you, if we don't save these businesses, there won't be a budget hole to fill because there won't be a budget. And I'll keep saying it until this changes. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out weekdays on WPRO in the afternoon as well. Good night.